Hello and welcome. We are live from New Delhi. You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. Fresh truce talks between Israel and Hamas will resume in Cairo. CIA director and Qatari PM to join Egyptian mediators for Sunday's talks. Mexico cuts diplomatic ties with Ecuador after police stormed Mexican embassy in Quito to arrest former Ecuadorian vice president. Campaigning underway in full swing for the first phase of India's general elections. Leaders of all political parties holding rallies and road shows to garner support in their favour. And double header today in Indian Premier League. Five-time champions Mumbai Indians to take on Delhi Capitals, while spirited giants of Lucknow will face the Titans of Gujarat. News in detail, updates on Israel-Hamas conflict. First, delegations from Israel and Hamas will head to Cairo on Sunday in the hopes of reviving stalled ceasefire talks. This comes as the Israeli government is under increased international and domestic pressure to reach a deal with Hamas to release hostages being held in Gaza. DD India's Alex Kadir reports from Tel Aviv.
Well, very, very high stakes for that ceasefire talks meeting. We know that all the senior players will be present. On the Israeli side, you have David Barnea, the head of the intelligence agency, the Mossad, and Ronan Bar, the head of the security agency, Shin Bet. On the other side, Hamas sending its deputy leader to these negotiations, mediated by CIA Director Bill Burns and by Qatari and Egyptian officials. The pressure absolutely on. Joe Biden has told Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to give his negotiators room to operate, room to strike a deal. We also know that he's asked the Emir of Qatar and the Egyptian president to put significant pressure on Hamas to do the same and come to these talks constructively. Now, we know that the previous two deals proposed by Israel have been rejected by Hamas, who said they were basically the same thing. The structure of the deal would be 40 vulnerable Israeli hostages, women, injured and elderly, released in exchange for 700 Palestinian prisoners, 100 of which are serving life sentences here in Israel. Now the sticking points remain. Hamas demanding the full withdrawal of Israeli troops from Gaza. That is not going to happen, say Israeli officials. They also want a longer lasting, what they call a comprehensive ceasefire, and again Israel saying they will only do 6 weeks, and that has been negotiated for months now. And finally, the last sticking point where Israeli officials say they can be flexible is the return of civilians to northern Gaza. They say they will allow more. The other aspect of this is the US pressure on Israel to allow more aid to flow into the Gaza Strip and to have a pause in the fighting, particularly as we've seen a 47-year-old Israeli hostage's body has been recovered just in the last day. He was kidnapped on October 7th, killed according to the IDF in January, and his body buried in Han Yunis in Gaza, only recovered by Shin Bet and the IDF. So clearly, for the families of those hostages, for the civilians starving in Gaza, time to reach a deal is running out. Alex Kadir in Tel Aviv, reporting for DD India.
And Israel's army on Saturday released footage it said showed the targeting and destruction of tunnels operated by Hamas in the southern Gaza city of Khan Yunis. The army, in a statement accompanying the video, said that the tunnels had been uncovered in the past, with one dating back a decade. In addition to the 3 tunnel-like structures, the Israeli Defense Forces claimed that a Hamas-run excavation workshop was also destroyed. And the Joint Operations Command of the Ministry of Defense announced the implementation of the 26th airdrop of humanitarian and relief aid as part of the Birds of Goodness operation. The United Arab Emirates Ministry of Defense released footage on Saturday reportedly showing its air forces dropping humanitarian aid parcels into northern Gaza in a joint effort with Egypt. 2 UAE C-17 aircraft and 2 Egyptian C-295 aircraft participated in the airdrop operation. Over 80 tons of food and relief aid and supplies were dropped over isolated areas in northern Gaza. And as part of an international effort to help set up a new humanitarian maritime corridor, a British Royal Navy ship will supply aid to Gaza. The multinational effort involving the United States, Cyprus and other partners will develop a new temporary pier off the coast of Gaza. British Foreign Minister David Cameron pledged $12.26 million for aid equipment and logistical expertise to help set up the maritime corridor from Cyprus to Gaza. The initiative will see aid pre-screened in Cyprus and delivered directly to Gaza through the new US temporary pier being constructed off the coast or via the Ashdod port after Israel agreed to open it. It has been 6 months since Hamas fighters broke through from Gaza into Israel on 7th October, killing about 1,200 people and taking hundreds hostage. UN Chief Antonio Guterres once again condemned the attack and called for the unconditional release of all the hostages. Listen in.
The 7th of October is a day of pain for Israel and the world. The United Nations and I personally mourn with Israelis for the 1,200 people, including many women and children, who were killed in cold blood. Nothing can justify the horror unleashed by Hamas in October 7th. And I once again utterly condemn the use of sexual violence, torture, injuring and kidnapping of civilians, the firing of rockets towards civilian targets, and the use of human shields. And I call for the unconditional release of all the hostages still held by Hamas and other armed groups.
And the United States says it is preparing for a possible Iranian attack in Israel or the region. US officials are warning it could come in retaliation to Israel striking the Iranian embassy in Syria. DD India's Nick Harper sends this report from Washington.
Officials are reportedly in a state of high alert. There is significant concern that there will be an attack within the coming days. US officials say they believe an attack is now inevitable and they think that attack will be significant, saying we are definitely at a high state of vigilance. Now, they're not sure, or at least not saying, where that attack could take place, but the potential, they say, is either within Israel itself or against American targets within the region. All of this coming off the back of an Israeli airstrike, not confirmed by the Israelis, but the thinking is that they carried it out on Monday in Damascus on Iran's embassy. One of the top Iranian commanders were killed. Iran also saying that another 7 people were killed during that attack. Now, obviously, that created a major escalation in terms of relations between Israel and Iran, and the fear is that after a couple of months of significant calm within the region, there could be this potential of a flare-up. We've seen, obviously, the Israel-Hamas conflict continue, but when it comes to other Iran-backed actors in the region, Hezbollah, and also the Houthis in Yemen, it has been somewhat quieter during recent weeks. So concern now from US officials, enough concern that the US President Joe Biden, when he spoke to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on Thursday, did discuss this and discuss the possibility of it taking place and how they would potentially deal with the fallout from it. Because it's now a case of, if we were to see this attack, how would the US and Israel respond? Concern that this could create a significant problem within the region, could create a significant escalation in tensions between Iran, Israel and the US. In Washington, Nick Harper, reporting for DD India.
As election fever grips the nation, political parties are intensifying their efforts to secure victory in the upcoming general elections. Now let's go across live to Indian state of Bihar. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi is holding a public rally in Nevada to garner support in favor of the BJP candidate.
ऑस्ट्रेलिया में डंका बज रहा है, न्यूजीलैंड में डंका बज रहा है, अफ्रीका में डंका बज रहा है, अमेरिका में डंका बज रहा है। कैसे? ये कैसे हो रहा है? कैसे हो रहा है? कैसे हो रहा है? आपने गलत जवाब दे दिया। ये मोदी के कारण नहीं हो रहा है, ये आपके एक वोट के कारण हो रहा है। आपके उस वोट की ताकत है जिसने देश को मजबूत सरकार दी और उसके कारण देश मजबूत कदम उठा रहा है। मुझे विश्वास है बिहार की ये महान धरती विकसित भारत के संकल्प को पूरा करने के लिए अपना भरपूर आशीर्वाद देगी। साथियों, मोदी देश से गरीबी खत्म करने के मिशन में जुटा है। मैं भी आप ही की तरह गरीबी को जीकर यहां आया हूं। मैं कभी भूल नहीं सकता कि 2014 के पहले देश में क्या स्थिति थी। करोड़ों देशवासी कच्चे घरों में रहने को मजबूर थे या बेघर थे। देश के गांवों में ज्यादातर लोग खुले में शौच जाने के लिए मजबूर थे। गरीबों के पास न गैस कनेक्शन था, न नल से जल आता था। गरीब का राशन बिचौलिए खा जाते थे। अस्पताल में इलाज के लिए गरीब को दर दर भटकना पड़ता था। साथियों, गरीब का बेटा मोदी गरीब का सेवक है। मैं जब तक देश के हर भाई बहन की गरीबी दूर नहीं कर लूंगा, चैन से नहीं बैठूंगा। बीते 10 वर्षों में गरीब कल्याण के लिए जो काम हुआ वो आजादी के बाद के 6 दशकों में भी नहीं हुआ था। इसी का नतीजा है कि 10 वर्षों में 25 करोड़ लोग गरीबी से बाहर आए हैं। जब नीयत सही होती है, हौसले बुलंद होते हैं, तो नतीजे भी मिलते ही हैं। और साथियों, अगर मैं आपको ही पूछूंगा तो आप इस सरकार के अनगिनत काम बता देंगे। हर इलाके का लोग बोलेंगे, हाँ हमारे यहां ये हुआ। हर परिवार कहेगा, हाँ हमारे यहां ये हुआ। 10 साल में इतना काम, इतना तेजी से काम पहले कभी किसी ने कल्पना नहीं की थी। उतनी तेजी से आज काम हो रहा है। लेकिन भाइयों बहनों, आपको लगता होगा साबित सर्वे वाले कहते हैं कि भाई इस बार तो 400 पार पक्का है। सारे अखबार वाले लिखते हैं 400 पार पक्का है। सब लोग कहता है कि भाई एनडीए का जय जयकार है। फिर लोग कहते हैं अरे इतना सारा हो रहा है, मोदी इतनी मेहनत क्यों कर रहा है। भाइयों बहनों, चुनाव तो आपने जिताना तय कर लिया है। मैं तो मेहनत इसलिए करता हूं कि मुझे आपके दर्शन करने का सौभाग्य मिल जाता है। अपनों से मिलने का आनंद होता है। अपनों को मिलने से ऊर्जा मिलती है, अपनों को मिलने से प्रेरणा मिलती है। और इसलिए मैं आपके बीच आता रहता हूं। और भाइयों बहनों, इतने सारे काम हुए। कोई ये कहेगा यार मोदी जी बहुत हो गया, इतिहास में नाम हो गया, अब तो आराम करो। मेरा उनको जवाब है, मोदी मौज करने के लिए नहीं पैदा हुआ है.
All right, we were getting you these live visuals from Nawada, Bihar, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi is holding a public rally, PM's second rally in the state after the announcement of Lok Sabha elections. All right, we'll slip into a very short break, but still to come on this edition of DD India Live. Peter Pellegrini to be Slovakia's president as ex-foreign minister Ivan Korkok concedes defeat. Thousands ordered to leave their homes after downpour triggered mass evacuations and widespread damage in eastern Australia. World Health Day is being celebrated today. April 7 marks the founding of the World Health Organization.
The land of Dravidians, Tamil Nadu goes to polls in one go. How will the National Party's alliance face the political heat with the regional satraps? What are the issues that could find resonance among the voters as India decides? Will the vote share increase help the national parties get a foothold in the minds of the people? Watch Why Tamil Nadu Matters on the Great Indian Election at 8:30 p.m. IST and 1500 hours GMT only on TD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. Some more stories. Former US President and Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump appeared at a fundraising event in Palm Beach, Florida on Saturday. Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump's campaign made a major fundraiser in Florida, rigged in a massive $50.5 million. After arriving at the event, Trump promised that change would come very quickly, quote unquote, once he regained the presidency. The event, slated to be his biggest fundraiser yet, is a much-needed opportunity for Trump, who has been routinely outraised by Biden and is in the midst of a financial squeeze due to ballooning lawyer fees and legal payouts. Meanwhile, US President Joe Biden's re-election campaign raised over $187 million in the first quarter of 2024, almost double what it took in during the previous quarter. Now, Mexico has suspended diplomatic ties with Ecuador after police raided its embassy in Quito to arrest former Ecuadorian Vice President George Glass. Nicaragua has also joined Mexico in cutting all diplomatic relations with Ecuador as a flagrant violation of international law. Glass, convicted twice for corruption, had been holed up in the embassy in Quito since seeking political asylum in December. Glass has been accused by Ecuadorian authorities of embezzling government funds meant to help rebuild after a devastating 2016 earthquake. He has now been flown under police guard to the city of Guayaquil and is expected to await trial in a maximum security prison. Meanwhile, Glass says he is the subject of political persecution and had been sheltering inside the embassy. Glass served as Ecuador's vice president between 2013 and 2017. He was relieved of his duties because of mounting corruption allegations against him. Later that year, he was sentenced to 6 years in jail in connection with corruption at the Brazilian construction giant Odebrecht. Meanwhile, citizens in the streets of Quito and Mexico City expressed disappointment with the diplomatic problems that have escalated between the governments over the last days. On the streets of Quito, opinions were torn. Mexicans mostly disapproved of the reaction of Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador, arguing he wasn't complying with Mexico's non-interventionist foreign policy with his actions. Arrest of Ecuador's former Vice President Glass sparked outrage in Mexico City, which suspended relations with Quito. And to continue discussions on the economic front between the US and China, US Secretary of the Treasury Janet Yellen met China's Premier Li Qiang to discuss economic relationship between the two countries. Both the leaders emphasized to work together and make progress directly and communicate openly. Now in Slovakia, Peter Pellegrini wins the presidential election, defeating Ivan Korkok. Peter Pellegrini received 56.7% of the votes in Saturday's runoff election, topping former Foreign Minister Ivan Korkok, who had won 43.3%. This election result propels Pellegrini to be Slovakia's sixth president since its independence from Czechoslovakia in 1993. The outgoing President Zuzana Kaputova, known for her support of Ukraine amidst Russian aggression, chose not to seek re-election for the largely ceremonial role. Although Slovak presidents wield limited executive powers, they can veto laws or challenge them in the Constitutional Court. They also nominate Constitutional Court judges, potentially shaping political conflicts over Fico's reforms, which aim to reduce penalties for corruption. All right, weather news now. Parisians ditch their coats and jackets as temperatures are set to reach higher in April. The weather authorities wants the temperatures to mount and reach up to 30 degrees Celsius in the south of France. Experts claim the warmer weather is due to warm air masses continuing to circulate over much of Europe. France to break the record of warmest April this month. And airline passengers in parts of the United Kingdom and Ireland faced travel disruption at airports on Saturday due to flight cancellations as a storm swept across both countries and left thousands of Irish homes with power outages. The disruption caused by Storm Kathleen has affected flights at airports across Ireland and the UK, including Manchester Airport and Belfast City Airport. In Scotland, rail and ferry services were also affected and faced disruption. In Australia, thousands of more residents have been evacuated, while others have been warned to prepare to leave following a mammoth downpour in New South Wales over the weekend. More than 100 flood warnings remained in place for towns along the Hawkesbury and Nepean rivers on Sunday morning after Friday's deluge. Thousands of residents across Sydney's west and northwest have been evacuated, while over 140 people were saved from flood water since Saturday morning. Now, Russia has evacuated around 2,000 people from their homes in the Russian city of Orsk. Russian officials said a day after rising waters in the Ural River flooded riverside villages and caused a dam to burst. The authorities have evacuated around hundreds of thousands of people after many homes were flooded in the area. On Friday, urged residents of riverside communities to evacuate after the dam burst. Mayor of Russia's Orenburg orders evacuations amid critical flooding. Now let's get to the latest on the world's largest democratic elections in India. The Communist Party of India released its manifesto for the upcoming Lok Sabha elections on Saturday. CPI General Secretary D. Raja, along with senior leaders, released the manifesto in New Delhi. While releasing the manifesto, D. Raja said CPI will form the government with left, progressive and democratic forces and will work to ensure decent minimum wages to all labourers. He added that party would seek increased funding to create a health and education infrastructure which is accessible to all. Some more election-related news. Congress President has approved the proposal for the formation of the campaign committee of the Rajasthan Pradesh Congress Committee for the general elections 2024 with immediate effect. The AICC on Saturday approved a 32-member campaign committee for the Lok Sabha elections in Rajasthan. Former Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot, Deputy CM Sachin Pilot, Congress candidates CP Joshi and Pratap Singh Khacharia have been included in the committee. Leader of Opposition Tikaram, PCC Chief Govind Singh Dotasra, former Union Minister Jitendra Singh, former Minister Shanti Dhariwal and ex-RTDC Chairman Dharmendra Rathore are also part of the committee. And in an era marked by unprecedented challenges, the value of good health has never been more apparent. World Health Day is being observed every year on April 7th, and this year the theme of the celebration is My Health, My Right. Here's a brief report.
World Health Day is being commemorated every year across the globe. On April 7 annually, the day is observed in order to raise awareness about global health issues and highlight the importance of well-being. The theme for the World Health Day 2024 is My Health, My Right, which focuses on the fundamental human right, access to quality healthcare, education and information. The origin of World Health Day goes back to 1948, when first Health Assembly was held by the organization, where it was decided to commemorate April 7, also the founding day of the World Health Organization, as World Health Day. To celebrate this day, people from around the globe come together to promote a healthier world for everyone. It serves an important platform for raising awareness about important health issues and advocating for equitable access to healthcare worldwide. From AI-driven diagnostics and wearable health devices to remote patient monitoring, the future holds promise for revolutionizing how we deliver emergency medical services. In today's rapidly evolving healthcare landscape, it is essential to champion patients' rights and drive innovation that puts the individual at the center of care. The day underscores the importance of primary healthcare facilities, proper sanitization habits, and availability of clean water. It also highlights the health challenges and focuses on the health facilities that should be provided to a human being. Good health and well-being are important and fundamental to leading a healthy and fulfilling life. It encompasses physical, mental, and social well-being, enabling individuals to contribute positively to society. Nitendra Singh report, DD India.
Sports now. We'll start with IPL. A fit against Suryakumar Yadav will be expected to immediately deliver the goods when faltering Mumbai Indians and Delhi Capitals lock horns in a bid to arrest their slide in their Indian Premier League clash in Mumbai on Sunday. So Mumbai Indians will take on Delhi Capitals. Mumbai Indians are languishing at the bottom of the points table and Delhi Capitals are at the 9th spot. In the other encounter, Lucknow Super Giants will clash with Gujarat Titans in Lucknow on Sunday. Both the teams have won 2 matches each this season. The match will start at 7:30 p.m. Indian Standard Time. And that's all for this edition of DD India Live. But do let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. You can connect with us on Facebook, X, formerly Twitter and Instagram. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Abhishek Mahajan. From all of us here in Delhi, thanks for watching DD India Live.